Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Joe Flash, and welcome back to another video. So, we're back with another reaction video, and ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't seen my last video, where I finished up a series recently called As the Clock Turns by Can Do Studios, you should check out the last part of me reacting to Chapter 1, Part 6. You should check that video out right now, because at the end of that video, I explained a few things about what I had in mind next for my channel, and here's one of them that I'm about to get started with. So one of the things that I mentioned in my last video about one of the things I maybe was planning on doing was checking out some more voice comparison reaction videos, since I do enjoy checking those out every once in a while. More than likely, I was going to do Spider-Man characters, where pretty much characters that are related to Peter Parker, you know, like his friends, best friends, famous villains, and much more and so forth, just trying to check out as many Spider-Man characters as possible, because I love Spider-Man. You know, obviously he has always been my favorite Marvel superhero for a long time. I thought I'd do that, and then also for a game video-wise, I was thinking about doing another gameplay series where I'm going to redo a gameplay series that I've already done before on my channel 3 years ago in 2020, which was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the World of Light Adventure Mode. The reason I decided I'll do that again is because I didn't really exactly fully play the game when I played it then, because when I played it in 2020 on my channel, that was actually my very first time ever playing the World of Light Adventure Mode, so I didn't exactly fully complete it on the channel. I kind of cheated, like I was playing it a few times off of my channel, having to search up YouTube videos to figure out what to do and stuff like that, so yeah. But I think I do believe I can get through it 100% this time, so whenever I do decide to play it again, I should be able to get through it all. Anyway, so, there's nothing much else left to be said, other than I'm just ready to get this started. So, there's a bunch of Spider-Man characters. Like, I don't know how many there are. I'm not sure if I'll even do all of them. I'm only going to do probably, if there are some other Spider-Man characters that have voice comparison videos, but I don't know who they are and stuff, I won't do them. I usually only do characters I'm familiar with. But I'm sure usually, I don't know, I haven't searched them all. I haven't searched up Spider-Man character voice comparisons. I don't know if there's a playlist dedicating to all the Spider-Man voice comparison characters, or I don't know. Plus, with two different people that have made a mixture of some, Generation West and Behemoth89, it'd be kind of hard to know which playlist it's based off of, because both Generation West and Behemoth89 do voice comparison videos. Behemoth89 is kind of the recent one, where he's made some recent ones. I don't know if Generation West still does them or not. Generation West does ones where it's animated, video game, and live action wise, while Behemoth89 only does animated voices. So, if you guys remembered my last few reaction videos I've done to voice comparisons, then you probably already know how it works. I'm going to be checking out Generation West's version of the voice comparison for this character first, and then after we finish him, then I'm going to check out Behemoth89's video, because this is an older one. This one that Generation West has is an older video. It came out in 2014, approximately 11 years ago, so this is 9 years ago, excuse me, 9 years ago, so this is an old video. So there's going to be some certain voices for this character that you won't see on the playlist because it's an older video that came out in 2014, but Behemoth89's got the more recent ones because his came out in 2021, so his is a recent one, so that's why I figured, you know what, let's do Generation West first and then Behemoth89. It's what I usually always do anyway. But anyway, so out of all the Spider-Man characters, it took me some time for me to think about who I wanted to do first for Spider-Man characters, but after thinking really hard, I figured I gotta start with the character that I'm sure everybody would probably think of first, that would be, like, related to, like, Spider-Man characters, you know, like, other characters that are featured prominently with Peter Parker or Spider-Man. I have to do Mary Jane Watson first, so as you probably have already guessed it, Mary Jane Watson is up here. So this is the Mary Jane Watson voice comparison reaction. First, we're checking out Generation West's video, and then Behemoth89's afterwards, as I said. So this is an old video. Generation West is from 2014, and then Behemoth89's is 2021. So that's all I can just say. So this should be interesting. Now, as many of you know, Mary Jane Watson is, of course, the love interest of Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. Always has been. Well, not always, mostly is. Most of the time, and usually Spider-Man comics and stuff like that, it's usually Mary Jane it's usually her that's the love interest. There has been some other love interests that Spider-Man and Peter Parker have had over the years, such as Gwen Stacy, the Black Cat, a few other superheroes as his crushes. There's been some other people that he's dated before and all that stuff, but Mary Jane is obviously regarded to some people as the best love interest for Peter Parker, because, you know, she's usually always the one that's usually always being booked to be the love interest of Peter Parker, you know what I'm saying? It's usually always her. Usually. Not always, but usually. But so there's times when Mary Jane was even just his friend and best friend, and there was even times when in other multiverse storylines where Mary Jane and Peter Parker even got married, had a kid, all that kind of stuff. So there's been some different ways on how the Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson relationship have gone over the years. So it's been put in many different ways over the years. So this should be a bit of an interesting one. Just to let you know real quick, to answer the important question that everybody probably wants to know, I'm sure that Zendaya will not be involved. I mean, this is an old video anyway. This is from 2014, so she wouldn't even be in here. But even in the 2021 video with Behelit 89, she probably won't even be included because that's animated voices. But just to let you know that in case if she wasn't going to be on here, Zendaya does not count. I searched it up on Google a few minutes ago before I started this video to make sure to answer the question correctly on if Michelle Jones is Mary Jane, because it's been rumored and been argued for several years, ever since Zendaya's MJ debuted in 2016 for Spider-Man Homecoming, where people continue to keep arguing on if Zendaya's MJ is Mary Jane Watson. No, she's not Mary Jane Watson. Her name is Michelle Jones. It's not the same character. Some people label her as Mary Jane, and sometimes, when there's videos on YouTube talking about the evolutions of MJ, she's featured in some of them, but Michelle Jones is not Mary Jane Watson. I searched it up on Google. So one of the developers, like Kevin Feige, or however you say his name, as well as some other stuff, when I searched it on Google, they confirmed themselves that that Zendaya's MJ, Michelle Jones, is not Mary Jane Watson. It's not the same person. The names, the initials are maybe the same, MJ, but it's not the same person. So just to clarify things here, just to make sure before we got started, so that way y'all wouldn't think that I wouldn't mention Zendaya, MJ, or Michelle Jones and all that stuff if you think that she's Mary Jane. No, she's not. So she will not count. But anyway, so I think I pretty much have spoken enough. There's not really much else to be said. I'm ready to go ahead and get this started. So this should be exciting. I did miss doing voice comparison reaction videos. I'm glad to be back. This will be fun. Hopefully I'll even get started with maybe doing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World of Light Adventure Mode maybe soon. I don't know when I will. Obviously, I'm just a little bit concerned about if I will do it or not. I mean, I will do it at some point, but it's just the only thing that's holding me back from wanting to do Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World of Light Adventure Mode again is just because of how long it'll take, because it's a long gameplay. It's even longer than Super Smash Bros. Brawl Adventure Mode, so that's the only thing that's holding me back, you know what I mean? But I will do it at some point, I just don't know when. But anyway, I'm ready to get this started. This should be a good one. It's only a short video. It's only about 4 minutes and 58 seconds, so about 5 minutes. And then once again, as I said, after we check out Generation West's Mary Jane voice comparison video here, we'll then head on over to Behelit 89's channel and check out his, and then continue on with more recent ones that he's got, you know what I'm saying, like from 2015 and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and just get this started. There's nothing more left to be said. I'm ready to go ahead. I should have had this started for several minutes ago, so let's get this started. So like John Cena and Triple H will always say, your time is up, my time is now. It's time to play the game. Let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? Mary Jane Watson, voice comparison in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the
And as always, I'll give it a thumbs up if I really love it and like it. Maybes for maybes for if I'm not too sure, like I don't have a full response, like I'm not too sure, and then thumbs down if I don't like it. Anyway, starting off 1967. Wow. So Mary Jane was in the original show, okay. I was curious to wonder if Mary Jane Watson was in the original Spider-Man show from 1967, because that's the show that had obviously the original theme song, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, that show. I was really wondering if Mary Jane was in there, because I haven't seen a lot of episodes from that show. I remember when Betty Brant was in here, I thought she was Mary Jane because she was redhead like Mary Jane, so it confused me. But all right, this confirms that Mary Jane was involved in the very first ever original show. And Peg Dixon, all right. Peg Dixon was usually always the woman that did the voices for like all of the Marvel's female characters from like back in those days. There was always a certain voice actor and actress that was always the one that was doing the female voices. Like this was usually the woman that provided the voices for all the female Marvel characters from around this time period. So, but let's see what she sounds like.
I'm gonna dig this. Little old Mary Jane's gonna have the spotlight all to herself. Oh, wow. Thanks. Isn't it groovy? I was up all night practicing. Gotta get back this afternoon. Tonight's opening night, you know. No, I I'm not dancing all the time. They got me taking
It
photos.
sounds a little bit weird, honestly, so I'll give it a maybe.
Why didn't you drop
I was
in
expecting a
tonight?
thumbs up, but that sounds kind of a little bit strange, so maybe.
It's a good thing Spider-Man showed up.
Of course.
He saved the pilot.
Come on, man. That's a classic show right there. Like 1994. Like, come on, man. I think if it wasn't for this show, people wouldn't have started getting into Mary Jane Watson, I think. I think pretty much this show is what started to get people into Mary Jane in some ways from, like, later animation shows or even live-action shows, you know what I mean? I mean, she was in the comics as well, but you know what I mean? When it comes to TV series-wise, whether it's live-action, animation, this is, like, the OG Mary Jane. I mean, she's not exactly the original because we just saw Peg Dixon, but in terms of, like, good voices, this is definitely a good one. Because you saw my opinion for Peg Dixon. It was kind of a maybe. So, but this one right here is definitely an OG. Sarah Ballatin, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, Sarah Ballatin. That's an OG voice right there. So, of course, double thumbs up for sure. Classic show. Really would love to watch that whole series one day if possible.
But as for Miranda Wilson,
I don't know if they have the whole entire series on DVD or not, but it would be cool if I ever do. I really would love to watch the whole series if possible. It's a classic.
anyway, now the producers want to.
It's kind of a sad of what happened later, though, when Mary Jane just disappeared, and then we thought we saw her back, and then she gets replaced by a water clone, and then she dies some point, and then, you know, we never get to see the real Mary Jane again because the series ended where Spider-Man was having help from Madam Web to find her, but we never get to see him actually find her.
I'm so worried, Peter. I've been so worried for so long, and when it seemed like it finally happened.
Okay.
Oh, Tiger.
Yeah, that's not bad, sure. Design's pretty cool, too.
Lots of people who fight the good fight without it turning into
Oh, she voiced her again, huh? Spider-Man Battle for New York. That's a video game, isn't it? I don't know. Spider-Man, I was going to say for Spider-Man Unlimited, it may have been a short-lived series. It was canceled because of the Digimon show, and it didn't last very long, but I heard Spider-Man Unlimited was pretty good for the time being. That's all I can just say.
Too bad Peter had to work. Yeah?
Okay, so we got to break it down to this one real quick. This is obviously based off of the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire from back in 2002. They made a video game of it, which is a lot of fun, by the way. I have it for the GameCube. Great game. I even played it not too long ago, like about a few months ago when I decided to replay it but do the Green Goblin mode. It's pretty good. But, I don't know why, but for some reason in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man video games, only Tobey Maguire was the only one that kind of stayed, you know, being casted with his character from the movie. You know, he stayed voicing Spider-Man Peter Parker for even the video games based off of the movies. But for other characters such as Mary Jane and even Harry Osborn, they replaced James Franco and Kirsten Dunst. Like, they didn't bring them in for the video games. Well, Kirsten Dunst did voice her in Spider-Man 2, which I know for sure she's going to be up here. I know for sure Kirsten Dunst has got to be in here. But yeah, she did voice her in Spider-Man 2, but in Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 3, she didn't. So this is the woman who voiced Mary Jane in this game, Catherine O'Connor. Kind of almost looks like Mary Jane looking at her picture. The Kirsten Dunst and James Franco did not, you know, redo their voices as Mary Jane Watson and Harry Osborn, or replay their characters for the video games. I don't know why that was, but yeah. Plus, not to mention in Spider-Man 1, you know, it was Josh Keaton who did the voice of Harry Osborn as well. You know, you play as Harry Osborn's Green Goblin when you do Green Goblin mode, and it was Josh Keaton, but yeah, so I just thought I'd break it down to you if you were expecting to think that this would be Kirsten Dunst for this video game, but no, it was Catherine O'Connor. But I'll still go ahead and say yes, though.
Thanks.
So yeah, even though the face model was based off of Kirsten Dunst, it wasn't Kirsten herself doing the voice.
Go get him, Tiger.
But I'll still give it a thumbs up because I love that game, and her voice is even not that bad either. But, you know, I can imagine some people would have wished it'd be Kirsten Dunst. But anyway. Oh, yes, definitely. That's another short-lived Spider-Man series. It was on MTV. It was 2003. Yeah, this was kind of sort of to be somewhat, quote-unquote, trilogy from the first Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie. But this series didn't last too long either, as it only lasted for one season in that year, 2003. I can imagine how much longer it could have lasted, but MTV started coming to realize and to thinking that it didn't make sense to have a Marvel superhero show on their channel, so they just decided to end the deal with Marvel, and Marvel was forced to end the series way too soon. And I didn't even really like how the ending was questionable, but I mean, it's all right. I mean, we've seen Peter Parker, Spider-Man, given up before and he comes back. But, the fact that we just never get to see him, because that's how the last episode of this show ended, where Peter threw his suit into the bay after he accidentally killed someone when he was taking on some villains. And the last thing he did was kill the two villains that got the world to hate on him. And, we didn't get another season to where we found out if anything was going to happen, if he was ever going to come back as Spider-Man or not. So, yeah. And I guess that would even maybe make a bit of sense that we didn't see him appear in Across the Spider-Verse this year as well. But maybe there's still a chance. Who knows? He maybe could appear in the next Spider-Man film for next year, Beyond the Spider-Verse, but who knows? Sure would be cool if we ever saw a new animated series Spider-Man appear ever again. But never mind. But this is a good show, though. I do like it. And I'm not going to lie, this design for Mary Jane was actually pretty cool in a way. Because the thing is, this was an adult show. This was an adult Spider-Man show. So this wasn't even meant to be for kids at all. So kids were not supposed to be watching the shows. But I did as a kid because I just loved Spider-Man. So I ended up seeing this. They did say some words, that kids shouldn't be hearing. But regardless of what happened, this was a great show. I still enjoy it. It's great to look back at too every once in a while. And as I said, the design for Mary Jane's not too bad in the game in the series as well. The little hair lock is actually kind of cool. Got like a shorter hair length, but still kind of staying true to how she looks like. And not to mention her outfit kind of even resembles more of well, I mean, the outfit doesn't really matter that much, but if you look at her outfit in the series, you can kind of see how it's sort of not adulterated really, but it kind of makes her appear more adulterated because this series it takes place when Peter and his friends are in college, so it makes a bit more sense, because with this being an adult Spider-Man show, the design, I guess the clothing or costume that they gave for Mary Jane in this series makes a bit more sense. Like you would have to search that up yourself to know what I'm talking about if you know what. But if you've already seen the design for Mary Jane in this series before, then you know what I'm talking about. But you know what I mean. Like it just proves to the exact point on this being an adult show. But still, it doesn't matter. But as I was saying, the design's cool though. I did like the design for this Mary Jane in the series. But either way, double thumbs up, of course. Sorry if I take too long to say everything. Sometimes I have some things I want to say about some particular stuff that appear. But yeah, this was good. I really wish this series could have lasted longer, but at least, even though it sadly got cut short-lived, it still was good for the time being. Just really could have imagined what more they could have done. There we go. So as I was saying earlier, Kirsten Dunst did provide the voice for Spider-Man, provide the voice for Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2, the video game at least. Obviously, Kirsten Dunst is the live-action Mary Jane from the Tobey Maguire movie, so of course, definitely double thumbs up. And the only time she ever got to reprise her role as Mary Jane in one of the Tobey Maguire video games was this one, Spider-Man 2, and that was it. She didn't come back for Spider-Man 3, which I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't bring her and James Franco back in to reprise their roles for the games, but it doesn't matter. But at least she got to at least do Mary Jane again, at least for this game, at least. At least they did so, you know what I mean? But of course, Kirsten Dunst, what are we talking about? Kirsten Dunst, she is Mary Jane Watson. Come on now. Even though not everybody may agree so, because nowadays there's some people that kind of actually have a bit of mixed opinions in regarding to her as Mary Jane, because I can see why, because comparing Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane compared to, the animation series, the comics and all this stuff, her Mary Jane was kind of presented a bit different compared to the comics and animated series. Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane was a bit more complicated than the Tobey Maguire movies. If you've seen all three of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, then you know what I'm talking about. So her Mary Jane was presented a lot more differently, which is why some people maybe don't like her or don't like her Mary Jane nearly as much, you know what I mean? I remember when there was a poll on YouTube where some guy was asking everybody who's the best Spider-Man love interest. Was it Tobey Maguire's Mary Jane, Tom Holland's Zendaya, Michelle Jones, or Andrew Garfield's Gwen Stacy? And most people actually ended up saying Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, which I was like, wow. Because I could see that being the reason, because, for her it worked, because some people don't seem to really find it, some people aren't even really a big fan of Zendaya's MJ, Michelle Jones, even being Tom Holland's love interest, you know what I'm saying? So I could see the reasoning why. Plus, it's been said in the comics and stuff that Gwen Stacy is the original love interest for Peter Parker, but then when she dies, Mary Jane becomes the new love interest. Or sometimes it even can sometimes be a battle between both. Like sometimes they're both alive in some universes. Like it goes back and forth every once in a while, but that's how it's usually regarded as. It's usually regarded that Gwen Stacy is the original love interest for Peter Parker. That's how it's always been said. But anyway, regardless though, Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane, I still enjoy it. You know, I can still understand the reasoning why some people have mixed opinions about her Mary Jane nowadays, but still got to give her respect. So, double thumbs up. She's pretty much about the only live action Mary Jane Watson at this point. Well, actually, we almost had another live action Mary Jane Watson. Mary Jane Watson, believe it or not, was almost going to be in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which came out in 2014. We almost got Mary Jane Watson in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She was going to be played by Shailene Woodley, who at the time was becoming known as Beatrice, aka Trish, from the Divergent movies, if you ever seen those. So she was kind of becoming known as Trish at the time from the Divergent films, which the Divergent films are pretty good, by the way. My mom loves it. She has one of them on DVD. So she was becoming famous at that time because I think the Divergent movie came out a year prior, 2013. So yeah, she was already becoming known as Trish at the time. So it was kind of crazy that then the next year they decided to ask Shailene Woodley if she wanted to be Mary Jane. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it. And there are deleted scenes as well. I think from the DVD, if you get the DVD of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think you could look up the deleted scenes where you'll see her Mary Jane appear because sadly, every scene involving Shailene Woodley's Mary Jane Watson was cut from the movie. It didn't make it into the official movie. They deleted all the scenes with her, so her character was removed, period. I think they said it was because they didn't want to get Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker mixed up with having a tough love interest, you know, like having a fight over who he loves more between Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. They didn't want to go with that, so they decided to remove Shailene Woodley's Mary Jane, period, so that he could stay loving Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, which I can understand that, even though there's been times we've seen Peter Parker had, you know, a hard time trying to decide on who he wants to be with more and stuff before, you know, and all that, even in some of the animated series, but still. But anyway, but like I said, if you want to, you can look it up on YouTube to see all the deleted scenes from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 where it includes Shailene Woodley's Mary Jane Watson. And you can even find Google images as well. Like, I remember there was an old Google image I once found where Shailene Woodley as Mary Jane, like, she even had her hair dyed red because, you know, Mary Jane's a redhead. She had a picture posing with Andrew Garfield in his Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit as well. So, you know, you could find that stuff as well. But, yeah, we almost got a second live-action Mary Jane Watson. But, as I said, she was cut from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so it's not official. But if you want to include her as well, because, you know, even though she didn't make it in the movie, if you want to still include her Mary Jane Watson as well, then you can. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's not going to be in this video because, as I said, her Mary Jane was deleted from Amazing Spider-Man 2. But as for Shailene Woodley, though, I don't really know. I've been thinking quite hard. I've seen the scenes on YouTube, but out of respect, I'm probably going to have to say no for Shailene Woodley's Mary Jane in Amazing Spider-Man 2 because I can't really quite exactly picture Shailene Woodley as Mary Jane Watson. Like, I can't really exactly picture her as Mary Jane. I can understand, or if I was to be able to understand the reason why they decided to hire her as Mary Jane, I probably would get it, but still, I can't, at the time period, and even till this very day, I still can't picture Shailene Woodley as Mary Jane. I can only picture her as Beatrice from the Divergent films. That's who Shailene Woodley will always be known to me. She will always be Trish from the Divergent films to me, so I can't really picture as Mary Jane. So for her, Mary Jane, no. So in terms of when it comes to official Mary Jane Watsons that actually did make the appearances in the movies that didn't get deleted, Kirsten Dunst is the only one. But if you want to include even scrapped ones, then there's a second one as well, as I said, Shailene Woodley. But for Shailene Woodley, thumbs down. But for Kirsten Dunst, double thumbs up. That's all I can just say. I know that took me a long time for me to explain that, but I just had to break it down to y'all, so I'm sorry if I try really hard not to pause or stay talking for too long talking about certain things, but there's just some things I just have to say personally, like just give y'all my personal opinions on some things. So I'm sorry if I'm keeping this pause too long for some certain things, but anyway, that's all I just wanted to say. That's all I wanted to break it down to you, okay? So I'm very, very sorry. I'll try not to pause nearly as much, but there's just some things I have to say sometimes.
I'll give it back to you. Come by the place.
I know that was a game for the GameCube, but I've never played it. Is that even a good game, though? Let me know in the comments down below.
He's like on the loose. 10 minutes there, kick the rhino guy in the ding-ding, and 10 minutes to get back.
Okay, I'll give a thumbs up to Andrea Taylor. Design for Mary Jane in this video game was a bit interesting, too.
So, Harry,
Okay, so this is the woman who voices Mary Jane in Spider-Man 3, the video game. Okay. Once again, even though the graphics look a little different in Spider-Man 3, but if you look clearly, obviously the face model is still based off Kirsten Dunst. They just, for some reason, didn't hire her back to reprise her role for Spider-Man 3, or neither in the first Spider-Man game based off Tobey Maguire film. So yeah, this is what I was talking about when Kirsten Dunst appeared earlier. But anyway, this is the woman who apparently voiced Mary Jane in Spider-Man 3, the video game. I don't know. A lot of people don't really talk about this game. I think in terms of if everybody was to talk about the Tobey Maguire video games, I don't think people would talk about Spider-Man 3, the video game, that much, because Spider-Man 3 wasn't even that good of a film for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people aren't really a big fan of Spider-Man 3, and obviously it's safe to say that obviously a lot of people aren't the big fan of the video games either. Like, when people talk about the Tobey Maguire video games, they do like the first one and the second one, but I guarantee you they probably don't like the third one, so it's appropriate that the Spider-Man 3 video game probably didn't work just like the film did, so I don't know if it's really that good. I mean, I played it once before on the PlayStation, but I never finished it. I don't know if I really did enjoy it as a kid. I'm not sure. I mean, I was playing it, and I just only wanted to play it because I loved Spider-Man, but I don't know. When thinking about it and looking back at it, remembering it, yeah, it definitely isn't that fun or that good compared to the first and second video games, so I do admit. But the voice, however, let me take a listen.
Deep down, he has to know you'd never do anything to hurt him. Don't worry. Give him time. I'm sure he'll get over it.
Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That's not too bad, I guess. Sometimes even if the video game isn't that good, that still doesn't mean the voice acting's bad, so yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up to that woman. Oh, heck yeah. I mean, what are we talking about here? Come on. The Spectacular Spider-Man show, that's my favorite animated Spider-Man show of all time. It's still my favorite even till this very day. So anything from the Spectacular Spider-Man show, always going to give it a thumbs up. Always going to give a double thumbs up to it. I love that show, period. Another Spider-Man show that sadly was cut too short as well. It only lasted for 2 seasons. It was going to originally have a 3rd season, but this was at the time period when Marvel was starting to have an agreement with Disney to like where Disney now owns a little bit of Marvel. So this put a hole in between Marvel's deal with Sony because the Spectacular Spider-Man show was also owned by Sony at this time. So with Marvel trying to do the deal with Disney, it put a halt to that, and Sony and Marvel's deal ended. So because of the deal ending between, I think that's what it was. I think it was between the Marvel and Sony deal coming to scraps. Like it ended because of Marvel trying to combine with Disney. That's why this show was canceled. I think that's why it did. I'm not positively sure, but that's what I heard. So yeah, but I wish this could have had a 3rd season as well. Some fans, even till this very day, years later, still beg for a 3rd season from the show. I really wish it does. I really love this show too much, man. Really would have been interesting to see what would have happened in the next season. But anyway, definitely a double thumbs up to Vanessa Marshall. This by far is probably my number 1 favorite animated video game related wise Mary Jane, because I just love the Spectacular Spider-Man show. Still got all of it on DVD as well. I still got both seasons on DVD, so I can look back at it anytime if I want to. This show will never get old to me. And it was pretty exciting to see the Spectacular Spider-Man appear recently, earlier this year, in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and that Josh Keaton even got to reprise his role as well. That was pretty exciting. I was really happy to see that when I saw the movie. I think he should be back in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't know. Some fans are believing that maybe Spectacular Spider-Man will be back in Beyond the Spider-Verse, since he is part of Spider-Man 2099 Spider Society, so there's believes that some people say the Spectacular Spidey will be back in the next Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is rumored to believe it'll come out next year, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot about this game. I did play it before, but I didn't really care about it that much either, but some fans say this game is alright, though. Spider-Man Web of Shadows does seem like an interesting game. Maybe I could play it again one day. It is actually on the Wii, so I could even buy it if I wanted to.
My God. Are you narrating? I heard superheroes like to do that, but I never...
Oh yeah, this is the ending, the good ending to the game. But yeah, thumbs up, by the way, sorry.
Right now? You got some sort of cell phone into that mask?
Yes, I'll give this a thumbs up too. I do love that game. That game was pretty fun. I did love Spider-Man Edge of Time. That was a good game.
And then selfish as...
Kind of almost forgot about Mary Jane being in the game. I don't know why, but
You're a worthy successor to the name.
but this game is good too, and that was a good voice as well.
Well, not exactly.
Now this one, I can imagine some fans may have mixed opinions on this one because, first of all, Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man wasn't. Well, for some fans, it wasn't that good. Like, some fans don't really talk about this show. Like, in terms of talking about Spider-Man animated TV shows on which ones they love, not a lot of people would probably say this one. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this show, so I don't think it's safe to say not everybody was probably a big fan of the Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man show. But I haven't watched a lot of scenes of it before. Like, I remember even one time when I was in high school in my TLC class during free break time and all that stuff, our teacher did actually play an episode of the show on TV, but I didn't pay attention. I was more focused on my YouTube videos, so I didn't really care that much. Although I probably could have watched it, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't. But it's crazy to hard to believe that Tara Strong was the one who voiced Mary Jane in this show, though, which is very interesting. And it's even more interesting for me just seeing this now because, believe it or not, if you guys didn't see my videos back in June when I made a vlog about it, I actually got to meet Tara Strong at Dallas Fan Expo when they had the event held back in June. It was June. I don't remember what day exactly in June, but it was held in June, and I got to go to the event with my best friend Alex, as well as a couple of my other friends. And one of the last few people that I got to meet before me and Alex went home was Tara Strong. We had a photo booth where he paid for both me and him to get a photo booth picture with Tara Strong. You know, they had photo booths for different celebrities. They had Danny Trejo as well, but we chose Tara Strong because obviously we love My Little Pony, you know, and plus Tara Strong's the voice of Twilight Sparkle. But she is the voice of Mary Jane as well, which was very appropriate. Like, if I remember to, maybe I'll try to put an image of the picture down here. Like, maybe I'll go to CapCut. Maybe I'll even try to remember to put a picture up when editing this in CapCut. But I got a picture of me and Alex when we took a picture with Tara Strong, and I was actually dressed as Spider-Man as well. Like, I cosplayed as Spider-Man at the event, which was really exciting. So if only we didn't have to be going in through lines, because obviously for photo booths, you don't really get to talk to them. You just get a quick picture with them, and then you go for the next person in line. So that's all we got to. But if we had the opportunity to talk to Tara Strong, it would have been interesting if she could have done her Mary Jane Watson voice while I was dressed as Spider-Man. That could have been very interesting if you ask me, now that I think about it, but that's all right. But for Tara Strong's Mary Jane, I don't hear it that often. I've only seen a select few scenes from YouTube of her Mary Jane. I'll have to listen to it maybe to get my opinion, because I'm still not positively sure about this one. Let me listen to it. Design's pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie. The design's not too bad.
Sir, we've never formally met. My name is Mary Jane Watson, and I'm here to interview for the internship. Neither do I, Mr. Jameson.
Yeah, her Mary Jane voice may not be as good as some of the other women we've seen so far, but I'll still respectfully give her a thumbs up, mainly because I just love Tara Strong. Like, Tara Strong would have to be my favorite voice actress if I was to choose, so I have to give it a thumbs up because I love Tara Strong. Like, really, when listening to this voice, she kind of just sounds like herself. Like, I kind of hear a little bit more of Tara Strong's actual voice than I do with Mary Jane, you know what I mean? So, yeah, when I was just listening, I was like, she kind of just sounds more like herself. She doesn't really sound like she's trying to be Mary Jane. But, I mean, you never know. Sometimes celebrities have used their real voices before when voicing a character, and it sometimes did work. So, yeah, you could use your real voice sometimes, you know? But, yeah, that's not too bad, though. It's not as good as some of the other women, but I'll still, as I said, I'll still respectfully give it a thumbs up because I love Tara Strong.
Midtown are in chaos, and while I'm not exactly cool with that, we're staying live.
It's not too bad.
Police are firing at Hawkins.
Like I said, the design for her in the series not too bad either. It's kind of a pretty looking design.
I appear to be the only reporter on scene. The only one dumb enough to be here.
I don't know why there's sound effects.
That can only be described as...
I just really can't deny anything from Tara Strong. I mean, I don't know if there's been times I've given her a thumbs down or even maybes before in some of the other videos. Like, I know there's been some other female voice comparisons I've done before that Tara Strong was featured in. I'm not sure if I ever had, like, maybes and stuff like that for her. I don't really know. I just love Tara Strong, so I can't really, like, say too much of a no for her. Plus, I even did do a voice showcase reaction. Like, Generation West made a video called Voice Showcase for Tara Strong, where it covered almost every single character that Tara Strong's voiced over the years, and Mary Jane was on the list. I don't know. I think I gave her Mary Jane a thumbs up in that video too, so yeah. But anyway, that's it for Generation West's video. So now that that's out of the way, let's head on over to Heath89's channel and check out his Mary Jane voices and cover the other ones that he's got from like 2015 to present. So let's get to that one. And I need to hurry because I've been taking way too long. I was talking way too much in this video that I pretty much turned this video into a 34-minute video. So I better hurry up and end this. So I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. This is Behemoth89's Mary Jane voice comparison video. Now, Behemoth89 only does animated voices, so if you were to watch this video, you won't probably get to likely see Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane. Well, actually, maybe you would, because Kirsten Dunst voiced Mary Jane in a video game. Like, he does also cover video games, so if a live-action actor did end up voicing their characters in some of the video games, then they will be on the list as well. Such as I remember when Chris Evans was on the, I think it was Generation West's video I checked out, but it was Behemoth89's Captain America voice comparison I checked out when doing Captain America voice comparison. Chris Evans was surprisingly on the list because he did actually in fact voiced Captain America in a video game that they made, so yeah. But anyway, so we're going to skip quite a few of them because most of them are just from the very beginning, so yeah, we're seeing some of the same women, so I gotta skip most of these, and get to the recent one. So let me get to so here we are, Tara Strong. So right here. So this is from Tara Strong. Since this was 2014, 2012. Excuse me. Now we're about to get into the recent ones. Here we go. So this is about to be come more of Mary Jane Watson voices that came after the 2012 Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man show, as well as even some that might even come into the present time. So here we go. These are the ones that weren't in Generation West's video, so let's have a listen.
You hit the jackpot. I think I like this much better than last year's Armor Spike.
That's crazy that Mary Jane Watson was even in Marvel Avengers Academy.
Don't you be
Who remembers
shy
that
now.
game? Who even remembers that
Just
game?
try
Let me know in the
it,
comments down below if you ever
Sorry,
played that
I'm
game,
on
because
my way to a shoot.
I don't know if that game was
Hey,
that good, because it
watch
was
it
just the
with those
Avengers
fingers
as
of yours,
students and
okay?
stuff, so
Lights,
I seriously
camera,
doubt if a lot of people
action.
like that game. I didn't even know Mary Jane was in it,
Just
though.
try and stop.
I gotta listen, though. I was
Sorry,
talking.
I'm on my way to a shoot. Hey, watch it with those fingers of yours, okay? Lights, camera, action.
Okay, fine. Thumbs up.
Not this on again.
Yes, absolutely. Even though I don't have the PlayStations to play, even though I don't have PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 to be able to play those games, but I've seen scenes on YouTube, a few scenes of YouTubers playing it, and those games look amazing. Like, this Spider-Man games definitely hit the world on fire when it came out in 2018, and the Miles Morales game I heard was good too, and obviously with the recent Marvel Spider-Man 2, obviously Laura Bailey did reprise her role. Right? Yeah. Yeah, Laura Bailey did reprise her role in Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 as well. They just gave her a new hair look, which some people like better because, she doesn't have it in a bun tail or ponytail like she does here in the first game. Yeah, in terms of Mary Jane Watson, I don't think a lot of people really like it when Mary Jane has a ponytail or a bun tail and stuff. I think they like it better when her hair is just sticking out because it's just classic Mary Jane. So luckily they did that in Spider-Man 2, which some people like the hair design better. So yeah. I don't think it's as red as it was in the first game, but, with her hair sticking out, it just makes it feel more like the Mary Jane that everybody knows. But absolutely, those are great games. I haven't seen anybody play Spider-Man 2 yet because I'm actually trying to avoid seeing anything from the game because I still haven't seen, the whole gameplay of Spider-Man 1 or even Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've only just seen a select few scenes and stuff. That's about it, so I was thinking I need to check out somebody playing the whole entire first Spider-Man game, as well as the Miles Morales Spider-Man game before I start seeing anything from Spider-Man 2, because in case if there's some callbacks from those games, I don't want to be spoiled, you know what I mean? It's like watching movies, you want to make sure you watch a certain movie first before you see the next one, because otherwise you won't be able to understand something if you haven't seen the previous movies, you know what I'm saying? So, I did plan on checking out Jacksepticeye do it, because I know Jacksepticeye played the first Spider-Man game. I was planning on checking him out, playing it, as well as he also did the DLC pack with Black Cat, because there was a DLC where you have an alternative storyline with Black Cat, so I was going to check him out, and I think I was going to probably check somebody else out, do Miles Morales Spider-Man, and then if there's any YouTuber that I subscribe to that ends up playing Spider-Man 2, then I'll check them out. I'm pretty sure more than likely Jacksepticeye is going to play Spider-Man 2, because, come on, it's Jacksepticeye, you know what I mean? But there could be some others that could be doing it as well. I think Run JD Run's doing it. Yeah, but we'll just not worry about that, okay? It's not important. But like I said, double thumbs up, definitely. Laura Bailey's got a great Mary Jane voice. And I know Laura Bailey has been featured in some of the other previous voice comparison videos I've done to female characters, and I think I've given her thumbs up to some of the other characters before, but her recently as Mary Jane Watson is going really good, so I'll definitely give her some respect. Laura Bailey's done quite some voices over the years, I will admit. But her recently going at it as Mary Jane's been pretty good.
Rehearsal, everyone. do you think
I don't
you're going?
understand this show. I know this is a show, but I don't understand it. Spider Geedon. I don't get that.
Cross my heart. Fine. But bring me fries. My husband.
I gotta listen again. Hold on.
Tonight. One can find a weakness. It's him.
I gotta listen again. Hold on.
Go get him, Tiger. Great rehearsal, everyone. We are ready to... Where do you think you're going? We have a concert tonight. If you're late, I swear, I won't be late. Cross my heart. Fine. But bring me fries.
I'm not really sure if I'm fully... I'm not even really surely if I fully like the... I don't dislike it, but I'm not sure if I'm fully connecting with this one, so I'm probably gonna have to say maybe. I liked how there was a bit of sassy attitude in there, but I don't know, it's not feeling like Mary Jane to me, so I just have to give that one a maybe for now.
My husband, Peter Parker.
Yes!
Ordinary.
Even though Mary Jane does not really get featured that much in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or even Across the Spider-Verse, but nonetheless, this woman, Zoe Kravitz, is that how you say her name? Kravitz. Her voice has actually not been very bad as Mary Jane, and plus the design for her is even not too bad in the movies as well. Pretty cool, like, storytelling on what they did with our world's Peter Parker and her Mary Jane, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta give it a thumbs up. Those are good films anyway. I love those films now, so I gotta give it a double thumbs up as well. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'll give it a double thumbs up. Come on, I love those films. I got to. I love those films. Those are great films. Like I said, even though Mary Jane Watson doesn't get a lot of scenes compared to other characters, but still, the voice is good, and you know, even the design is not too bad either.
He didn't ask for his powers.
It's pretty interesting storytelling on what they did with her as well as with our world's Peter Parker. Or Peter B. Parker, should I say.
That he made us each feel powerful.
Good stuff.
We all have.
When did this movie come out? I think that movie came out in 2018, didn't it? Didn't that come out in 2018, right? Wasn't it 2018? I believe it was. I don't know. I can't remember what year exactly Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out, but I believe it was 2018. But yeah, anyway, that's all the voices, so that's all of them. Alright, so there was quite a lot of good ones in here. I didn't really give a thumbs down to anybody, well, except Shailene Woodley's Mary Jane, even though she wasn't on the list, but Shailene Woodley's Mary Jane, I think, was probably the only one I gave a thumbs down to, but everybody else was alright. There was, most of them were thumbs up, some of them were even double thumbs up, and then some were some maybes in there, but so far this was not bad. Most of the women in both Generation West and Behemoth 89's videos were pretty good, so now it's time to break it down to it. So who are my personal favorites? Well, obviously, we gotta start off with live-action-wise, because obviously, for live-action-wise, there's only been one Mary Jane Watson when it comes to live-action-wise, and that's Kirsten Dunst. So, obviously, Kirsten Dunst is the only live-action Mary Jane Watson, so gotta put her in, even though some people do maybe have a little bit of mixed reactions to her Mary Jane because of how she was presented differently compared to how she is in how the Mary Jane is presented in the comics and series, but still, gotta give respect to it because it's OG. Now, Shailene Woodley, as I said, thumbs down to her. For some, I don't know, I don't even know if I really count Shailene Woodley, because like I said, with her Mary Jane being removed from the film and having deleted scenes, I'm not sure if I fully count her. But if you count, like, deleted scenes, then you could count Shailene Woodley being the second live-action Mary Jane as well, along with Kirsten Dunst, but if you don't count, like characters that were deleted from movies and stuff, then really Kirsten Dunst is still the only live-action Mary Jane, but regardless, it's just Kirsten Dunst. It's just her. She's the only live-action Mary Jane, so her. And then for animated, video game, and TV series-wise, there was quite a lot of them, so let me go back and take a look at some that I really liked. Let me take a look back and see for some. Who are my personal favorites? So for animated and TV series and video game-wise, definitely got to give it to, I definitely have to give it to, I definitely got to give it to Sarah Balatine. Definitely got to give it to Sarah Balatine from Spider-Man, the animated series, 1994. Got to put her up there. Even though she's not one of my favorites, but I will give respect to this woman. Oh, that's a video game. Never mind. Excuse me. This wasn't even included. No, this one wasn't even included, actually. We missed this one. Hold on. I don't think this one was even featured, wasn't it? No, this one wasn't featured. Let me listen to this one. We missed one. Yeah, let me listen to this one real quick. This one was missed.
Hit the jackpot.
We actually missed this one.
I hope your day is going better than mine, Peter. What did you think? Was I as bad as he said?
Yeah, we actually
Big
missed this
Apple
one.
is
This wasn't
really
even a
starting to
Generation
roll.
West video. I didn't
You
even
had your
realize
hands full
that.
with Mysterio. Or
Gotta
have
look
you
more
forgotten
closely
about
next
that
time when I
already?
skip some
Oh,
stuff.
forget about Alvarez. In a few days, the whole incident will be history. Don't listen to that windbag. He's just a newcomer
Okay,
to politics
sure.
who's trying
Okay,
to
I'll
make
go
a
ahead and give
big
it a thumbs up,
splash.
sure. This is a video game, by the way. But anyway, so I had to listen to that real quick because I didn't realize that there was one in here that wasn't in Generation West's video, so I had to quickly check that one out real quick. Okay, so Sarah Ballantine from Spider-Man, the animated series in 1994. And even though she's not up there as one of my favorites, but I will give respect to Jennifer Hale because her voice is pretty good. And plus, I heard Spider-Man Unlimited was a good series. So I gotta at least give respect to her, even though she's not one of my favorites. But give respect to her from Spider-Man Unlimited. And even though she's not another one of my favorites either, but I will give a bit of respect to Catherine O'Connor for her voice in the video games because I do love the Spider-Man first video game, so I'll give her a bit of respect as well, even though she's not up there as one of my favorites. Definitely Lisa. Lisa is up there as one of my favorites because I do love Spider-Man the animated series, so put her up there along with Sarah Ballantine. So far, my personal favorites are Sarah Ballantine, Lisa, however you say her last name from Spider-Man the new animated series. Already did Kirsten Dunst. But I guess in terms of the fact that she did provide the voice for Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2, the video game, I guess you could include Kirsten Dunst as well. So I guess she kind of counts as well, but really I only count her for live action, so I only really will count her for live action wise. I won't count her for animated video game, even though she did voice her in Spider-Man 2, the video game. But when it comes down to people who who's more famous for playing a character in movies and stuff compared to video games, I don't really count it, you know what I'm saying? But since she did voice Mary Jane in this video game, you guess you could count Kirsten Dunst as well as both, but never mind. Andrea Taylor's voice wasn't too bad either. Not one of my favorites, but not too bad. Definitely Vanessa Marshall. Sorry, I was definitely trying to remember, but yes, definitely Vanessa Marshall for sure. Vanessa Marshall is obviously my first favorite because I love the Spectacular Spider-Man show. I did forget to mention that in this series, this is where Peter Parker and Mary Jane do not become love interests. Mary Jane is just the friend of Peter Parker in this version of the series, and it's just the next door neighbor, and Gwen Stacy is his love interest. So just thought I'd let you know about that real quick if you haven't seen the series yet. This is like the one animated series where Mary Jane isn't one of Peter's love interests. Who else is one of my favorites? Who else is up there? Those two ladies from those video games, Spider-Man Web of Shadows and Spider-Man Edge of Time, were good. Were actually okay as well, but they're not one of my favorites, though. You know what? I'll go ahead and give it to Tara Strong, even though I didn't really exactly want to include her as one of my favorites. But since I love Tara Strong, I'm just going to put her as one of my favorites because I just love Tara Strong. And plus, her voice really isn't that bad. It may not be as good as some of the other women I put it on my list so far, but I got to give her respect because I just love her. So even though I wasn't really too sure if I wanted to include Tara Strong as my favorites, but I gotta put her up there because I just love Tara Strong. So I'll put Tara Strong up there as one of my favorites as well. There's a few others I think still. Definitely Laura Bailey for sure because the video games are awesome. Spider-Man video games are awesome, so you definitely got to include Laura Bailey. And I'll give respect to Zoe Kravitz for her voice of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. She has a good voice, but I don't know if I would put her as one of my favorites, but respect to her as well. So I just thought I'd give a couple shout-outs to some of the ladies that I thought had some good voices, but they're not up there as my favorites. So in total, that's 5. So my five total favorites, my main favorites are Sarah Ballantine, Lisa, however you say that last name of hers from the new animated series, Vanessa Marshall, Tara Strong, and Laura Bailey. Those are my 5 personal favorites for animated video game and TV series wise Mary Jane Watson. So yeah, I'm sorry that took me so long to break that down because there was just a couple other women I thought that were good as well. I just thought I'd give them some shout outs even if they weren't my favorites. But those are my 5 personal favorites. So in total, I have 6 total favorites for Mary Jane Watson. That's it. God, that took me a long time to break that down. Both of these videos are really short, and I turned this into like almost a near full hour long. Man, I gotta really start stop talking less and just break it down, you know what I mean? Because this is something that does make some people upset nowadays, that I keep talking so much that I'm just like stopping myself from finishing the videos, especially ones that are very, very short, like this one and the Generation West Mary Jane voice videos. Like, those were just only a select few minutes long, and yet I turned this into like a near almost 50-minute video, so I'm very sorry. I'll try my best. I forgot how much that used to trouble y'all back then. I'll try my best not to talk too much in the next videos, but there's just sometimes some certain things I just have to say about some certain like voices, you know what I'm saying, in certain series and stuff like that. But I'll try to be more careful from now on. So I'm sorry if I upset you guys on this one, but that's all I got to say. So 6 total favorites for Mary Jane Watson. So now it's time for y'all to leave a comment down below and share it with all your friends, and even start a conversation down below. Who is your favorite Mary Jane Watson, or who are your favorite Mary Jane Watsons? Leave a comment down below, start a conversation, and once again, share it with your friends so you can get their opinions as well. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. Hopefully I'll be back with another video real soon. It's obviously getting very late. It's like, what time is it? It's 12:38 at midnight, so I really got to get out of here. I don't know when I'm going to go to bed, but, well, actually, you know what? I got to go to bed right now because I'm getting tired. You know, this video kind of wore me out. My voice is getting kind of sore because I was talking for a long time. So I got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time in the next video whenever it comes down, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't yet. But until then, when I'm back with another video, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a good one. That'll be it for today, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Dislike to give it a thumbs down. Join me next time for the next video. To all you boys, men, and gals out there, fist bumps good to all of you. And to all the girls, ladies, and women out there, kisses gut to all of you. But until then, this is Joe Flash signing off, and have a good day. Or good night.